Good morning. How are we doing out there, guys? Happy Monday. Let's start this week off strong. Kalshi is pricing in 43.8 days for the government shutdown right now. Right now we're at around 40 to 41, so we'll see next couple days if the Senate and ultimately the House can end up passing some stuff. I would find this pretty interesting. Good evening, D. Good morning, good evening. Last night during the evening time, whenever the Senate passed that, we saw the SPY pop off, or I should say the S&P 500 futures. Nonetheless, though, it definitely got some buying pressure going, that's for sure. You're in Asia, yeah, I figured. Oh, I figured when you said that. Good morning, Outlaw. Appreciate that. Alexander, Jake, Joe Papa, Rick, Jack Black, Steve, Sharpie, Zach. One of the things I'm a bit worried about this morning, and something that I wanted to talk about right out the gate with the SPY, is the SPY is doing great. So far, it's moving up. I'm a bit worried about this gap potentially filling at some point. If we do start to see the gap fill, that's going to be a bit negative, so keep that in mind. Hell yeah, Jason. Like Outlaw said, destroy that like and sub if you just joined up. Get those likes up here. Jake said, be positive, Tom, only in the metaverse. You know, that was kind of funny how everybody was talking about the metaverse for a little while. That thing started flopping. Metaverse flopped a little bit so far. I guess we'll see if it picks up steam again eventually, but... Might GLD lose the overnight gains? Let's see, GLD. Good, nice pop this morning. Of course, nice gap up. Like you said, overnight gains. If we look at gold futures, they were really exploding last night. That was actually pretty awesome by gold futures to have a 2% move. I didn't even watch them last night into this morning. I was really just watching ES. But, wow, yeah, that's nice actually. Looking at the SPY, though, one of the big things with the SPY is that it popped up above our trend line. That's usually a pretty bullish sign. Now, like I said, there could always be the possibility of a fake out, and we pull back below there and go for a gap fill. If that does happen and we do start breaking below the trend line, maybe watch out for that gap fill. If we don't start breaking back below the trend line, I would say continue to look at the bull side. So far, it's been holding this trend line pretty well since it broke out. And it's not like we're seeing like a big drop or anything like that right away. At least if you're watching the downside move, watch 670, 675. That would be another good area to watch for a breakdown, as there was a little double bottom there in pre-market today, but nothing too crazy. Did Micron have earnings this morning? MU? I didn't think so. No. Nope. Looks like they're just gapping up. Wonder if they have some news. I'm not even seeing anything there. I do see that it says that shares of semiconductor stocks are going up as Taiwan Semiconductor reported 16.9% year-over-year revenue growth for October. And then, of course, the Senate passing the first stages of a shutdown ending bill. Yeah, like it says, starts moving through Congress here. It's not like this is totally done yet, but it is starting to move. They passed, like it says here, it's a bit strange. They passed a procedural measure that allows other votes on the agreements to be held on Monday. It's kind of strange there. Goldman Sachs said we're not in an AI bubble. So that's bullish too. I guess that does help add a little bit to the... Or helps fan the flame. Adds fuel to the fire. So we'll say... Remember, don't get greedy, take profits. That's right. You don't have to go for too large of breakouts. Of course, if you catch a larger move, you know, hey, the more the merrier, right? Look at Palantir recovering back today, guys. 4.9%. Wow, I'm surprised nobody mentioned Palantir yet. Very, very surprised. Looking at the watch list, a lot of stocks actually up quite a bit. MU, Palantir, how's BMNR? Where is Palantir on our list? There it is. Robinhood, looking pretty solid off last week's earnings. Wow, they're about to recover all the way back up. They moved up well Friday, doing it again today. They might get there. They might get there. BMNR, Bitmine, one of the ones that we were watching from last night at $41 for a possible breakout. It's moving very well. Of course, use 42.50 as support right now. It's holding up pretty good, but like I said earlier, I'm a bit worried that some of these stocks are going to end up trying to fill the gap down today, but look at the SPY. It doesn't care, up at 678.60. Watch for 680. That's going to be a solid area of resistance. We might see a resistance touch and then a bit more of a hold there. Unless we start to see more good Senate news hit later, which we definitely could. Definitely possible. $680 touch would be great today, Jack Black said. It's not that far off. It's only $1.20 away. Let's see it. I know a lot of the bulls were definitely excited heading into this morning, and I don't blame you with all that good news. This is on fire. $670, $880 out of the SPY. Just continues to march up. 679 is about to touch. MP Materials, not bad, not bad. Let's see the Mag 7 here. That was weird. Oh yeah, the Mag 7 starting to come back a bit. Nvidia up 3.4%. How's TLT? Nice recovery there by TLT. It's a good sign. Where is Palantir for resistance? PLTR. Wow, on fire. You gotta watch 190. It looks like more like even 189.40 to 189. Up to 190. There's like a pretty good range right here on Palantir of resistance, so you'll have to keep that in mind as it tries to pop. Of course, it can always eventually break through that, but this range right here will be pretty big in my eyes. The big short's now the big long, Coconut said. I wonder if he took profits already. We wouldn't even know for a while. VRT, Iceman said. Let's see, VRT, Vertiv Holdings. Vertiv. AMZN. Might set a new all-time high today. 2.9%. That's a pretty nice little pop. How close is it to all-time high? Oh, yeah. I guess it's not too far off, is it? I don't think it's going to get quite up to there, but if it did, that would be pretty wild, though, I gotta say. Wow. All right, SPY touch 679. We're getting pretty close to 680 at this point. I wouldn't be afraid to take profits up here if you were longing from like the 677.80 to, you know, the low of the day. I'm feeling Nvidia guidance is gonna rocket the stock, Coconut said. Nvidia, 3.7% today. Let's see the daily chart. Wow, coming back. You're talking about on their earnings coming up in a couple weeks or next week? Just took $100 off of one Palantir contract. Very nice. Steve did too. Nice, guys. Yeah. It's actually hitting now our resistance zone, so pretty nice. This is where I would think it starts to reverse now. This is where we start to get to 190. Let's actually check it on the book map. I'll bet that there's quite a bit of sellers at 190 here. Man, it's getting cold by me, guys. It was like 30 degrees yesterday whenever I was driving home. Blew my mind. It felt like 0 degrees because we haven't had anything even close to that yet. And like literally the low today is 25 degrees. But then the high tomorrow is 54 and then 62 Wednesday. Like, it's getting wild out here. I think, wow, yeah, some big cold front just came through like Illinois and hit St. Louis. It's pretty weird. It snowed a lot by Mason. Whoa. Okay, well, I'm not going that far yet. That would be wild if that happened here. Wow, Spy. That is on fire. $680 is getting closer and closer. It might not get quite there, but man, it's starting to push it. Microsoft looking great. If Nvidia starts breaking out here, it would add a lot more buying pressure too. Nvidia's unfortunately been very choppy, but it hasn't held it back because Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Apple all popped off. Spy said, F you trend line. Oh yeah, those trend lines are made to break. The question is when, right? I'm very curious if the SPY will ever fill this gap back towards 672.30, 672.50 again. That would be kind of wild today. It would really disrespect the trend line if that if that were to happen, because it would probably just get destroyed right through it. But again, I think we'd have to see some pretty wild developments for that to happen, but it is plausible. Nice, Brookie posting it up in the Discord. Brookie ended up making 2,200 on Palantir this morning really quick. Wow. Looked like a really quick scalp, too. Finally got to take me SXS out this weekend. It was a blast. Oh, is that the snow? Oh man, that sucks, Mason. Talon 100R, okay. Oh, just a side-by-side, I see. Oh, that's what SXS means. I get you. I'm not used to those terminologies quite yet, Steve. How's Tesla here? Oh yeah, sometimes that's terrible, man. Becomes a free-for-all. Yeah. You know, I've seen people say that, Steve. I just, for some reason, was just not thinking that. I have seen people say that, though. I've got a lot of buddies with side-by-sides, and man, they go pretty wild on those things. Palantir starting to reject at our resistance zone. Looks like people took profits at a good place there. Oh yeah, they look like fun. I think you can actually trade one. Like VRRM Room. Oh no, it's BRRP. That's what it is. Or BRP? I don't, it's something like that. I remember I used to always look at that stock on the earnings. Speaking of earnings for this week, guys, what are your favorite earnings reports coming out? What are your favorites? I'll pull it up here in just a minute. Throw up the Mag 7. Apple's still ripping here. All right, let's see those earnings. Pretty fun ones tonight in after hours. TerraWolf, Plug, ASTS, Rocket Lab, Big Bear, CoreWeave, Rigetti. CoreWeave and Rigetti, my gosh. Nebius, Tuesday. Beyond Meat, Oklo, Circle, Cisco, Disney, Bitfarm, JD, Redcat. RCAT is reporting. That one's interesting. Applied Materials, SPCE, ooh, Virgin Galactic. You guys remember that one. Or a lot of you do, I'm sure. The Metals Company reports Thursday in after hours. Oh, that one's one that is going under the radar a little bit. TMC. The Metals Company. I know they've been pulling back a little bit, or, well, a lot, I should say. How much did they drop here? Essentially, like 53, 54% here. Wow. Steve likes Poet and BBAI. Wow, Poet's been testing their trend line here recently. They actually just fell below it. Bit of a strange move there in reaction this morning as they gapped up and now came right back. SPY actually is starting to turn over as well. Past few minutes or so. Our airlines. It's a good point. They're probably doing pretty good. No, not as good as I would have thought, but decent. DAL's up 1.5%. I guess they're starting to trend back up in the right direction, which is nice. They were even doing good like last week. There's Southwest coming back too. Pretty good day for them overall. The shutdown ending probably helps some chaos from ensuing there. I couldn't imagine if the shutdown goes through Thanksgiving and the people traveling for like their families and stuff end up getting screwed over really bad. That could be pretty bad out there. You hope BBAI does well. Big Bear. TerraWolf for CR. Big Bear's been dipping a lot recently as well. Look at this little trend line here that Big Bear has been on. It's actually bounced perfectly off of it, holding its range. That doesn't mean earnings have to go well, but if they do, it would probably shoot up pretty nicely from this point. Obviously, earnings are very subjective. You never know, but I like the setup with the trend. I wish it wasn't having earnings, actually. Jake's not excited about it. I don't blame you, Jake. There's been a lot of these stocks that are pulling back. They're going to have to really wow people to get things going in the right direction. Oh, okay. I was like, what did I just do? Clicking the wrong stuff here. Navitas Semiconductor. Let's see. Starting to pop up pretty good again. One second, guys. Let me throw this up really fast. All right. What's up? Why GLD didn't come down with the ending of the shutdown, Canal said. Let's see. GLD? You know, GLD's actually been moving with the market pretty well recently, Canal. Not perfectly with it, but you know, the SPY has generally been falling recently. You know, the SPY, gold, everything started to have a nice gap up today as optimism came back into the market. There's still a lot of craziness out there worldwide and a lot of uncertainty as well. Good morning, Santi. Hope you're having a good one. Man, look at the SPY popping off there. That is a nice rip higher. Like to see it coming right back. Pretty perfect recovery. Coconut says, if any airlines ever turned a profit? I would definitely think so over the years. I will say they can be very fun to trade sometimes. My gosh. Airlines have been some of the more fun stocks that I've ever dip bought over the years. That's for sure. Just a lot of wild swings all the time. It's it's a fun market to trade, but I wonder how long it'll take the FAA to get the airspace back up and running. Like the flight controllers and stuff? I know that there were a lot of flights canceled and delayed, but I thought all that stuff was all good. At least, mostly. It's not that hard, it's just the Manning, DJ. DJ said that they're an ATC. Let's go. I like it, DJ. That's really cool. Do you have any breakup price on Tesla? 441 right now is a big level for it. If it's going to really rip, though, it's probably going to break up to 444 plus if we're going to get a true rip today. You don't have to necessarily go for the true rip, though. You got to be careful as it gets towards these levels that I'm marking off on the left side of the screen. This range is a pretty big range, where we've seen a lot of different bounces throughout the day. What's up, Autumn? Happy Monday, Stocked Up crew. Missed y'all. I'm so excited. Finally all packed and moving this weekend. Ready to get back to my trading. If you're looking at AMD, any news? Advanced Money Dispenser, AMD. It's moving pretty well right now at 5.3%. That's pretty beautiful. That's actually nice to see. Autumn said, oh, it's dispensing today. 5.3%. It really is. We're seeing a lot of great recoveries today out of the market. Palantir just broke through 190 here. We were looking at that on Bookmap a minute ago. 80,000 volume came through as it broke. Yeah, that's really cool. Any news? Let's actually check it really quick. I thought mainly just government shutdown news today. Yeah, it just says Taiwan Semiconductor had strong October sales. And that's actually what all the headlines keep saying today. Whether I look up Nvidia's news, AMD's news, or really like a lot of different chip makers, even MU. People are asking about Micron earlier, and everyone's saying that it's moving up because of TSM's good October sales. I find that interesting. SMR's daily chart, that's horrible. They're actually down 2.6% today, SMR is. Wow, that is looking pretty bad. I gotta say. Now, let's just say that hypothetically there's a trend line here that these stocks are on. Like, let's just say, theoretically, SMR is on this overall trend. You know, it could pull back quite a bit. It would probably pull back to under $20. We got to keep in mind that these growth stocks get pretty wild, and there could be an overall pullback out of some of these. Let's see if there's any news with SMR, because a lot of stocks are doing way better than that today. I would think that there'd be something. RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, lowers price target on new scale power from 32 or to 32 from 35. So they lower the target to 32 from 35. They keep their sector perform speculative risk. I mean, that's really it today. Nothing too crazy besides that. That actually happened at 7 a.m. as well. And at 7 a.m., the stock didn't do anything. So it just kind of sold off at open right away. Let's see what else is leading our watch list down. SMR almost as UPS, United Parcel Service. I know the UPS drivers are pissed because they've been buying into this a lot. This one's interesting, though, with how low it's becoming. Very interesting. UPS does look interesting on there. A senator just made a large purchase of UPS last month. I don't remember that one, but I'm sure it was making headlines, that's for sure. BAC, how's Tessie? Tesla's doing pretty well here, moving up to 442.30, 442.50. Testing the high of the day. Wow, it got very high here this morning, guys. We've seen some great price action out of some of the Mag 7 stocks, and it is helping to propel the SPY higher. And SPY is actually holding a key zone of support intraday so far. See if it can start to break through or not. UPS, eh? Oh yeah. Some folks were just talking about CELH last night. Now it's up 7.4%. CELH Celsius, 7.3%. I heard a lot of people mentioning this one last weekend, or last week on Friday, I believe. There was a lot of chatter in the Discord about it. It was dropping pretty low on earnings. People are looking to buy the dip here on Celsius potentially, but Just realize that it's a wild stock. It could potentially go lower as well. I believe one of the big things that people are really looking for with Celsius is that they get bought out by somebody. I believe that is the big move for them. Joby just got an 8% pump. J-O-B-Y, Joby Aviation, popping to the upside as well. We're seeing a lot of good moves today. And we go to the watch list, we go to the upside. My gosh, there's so many stocks up over 2% even. Honestly, just pick just about any growth stock you could think of. Critical metals. Bloom Energy up quite a bit today. Actually, Bloom Energy tested its all-time high, 6.8%. This is one of the growth stocks this year that really went insane. People like to mention a lot of the other ones, but you know, whenever you get one that goes up 566%, that's pretty damn good. Let's see like BMNR, for example. Now I know this one had a lot more. Yeah, 2,600, but that was a wild one. Especially coming off the split. Weird stuff went on with that one whenever Tom Lee joined. MP Materials, let's just check. 518%, so pretty much like Bloom Energy. About Navitas, one of the bigger semiconductors here. 404% from the beginning of the year, but if you go to the lows, it's 1,000%. I would say I think it'd be more fair to throw it like right here. B2 Gold Corp. BTG's up 5.7%, moving up with gold. 135%. Of course, more of a gold-related stock, but still, that's great. CGC, the MJ stock, starting to pop a little bit. Now, this one hasn't done that great this year. It's actually down. CGC is down around 57% this year. But there are always short-term opportunities with these MJ stocks when they do start to move. I find it interesting. They had earnings. They moved up a little bit. They're up 8% today. How about Tilray? Oh, wow. Tilray filled the gap on the daily chart, found some support, and is now starting to pop up just a little bit more. Is there some like legislation with these MJ stocks soon? That would be cool. BMNR, do you think it'll ever moon Bitmine? I do think that there's a chance that in the future Bitmine does a lot better than what it's doing right now. It's definitely a growth stock in a growth phase. It's a little bit wild for me. I'm not too big in the crypto, so I'm not somebody that really follows Bitmine super closely in that sense. Could GLD return to last week's price or keep ripping? I think that there's a good shot that GLD keeps moving higher this week. I'm not saying that it won't get to last week's prices. I will say I don't really see it falling down to this bottom range here that I'm marking out at the moment between like 365 and 366.50. I don't see that. I could see it possibly getting into this range, like right around 369.50, 370, 371, as it fills the gap and then bounces. I could see that, but I don't really see it getting like much down towards like 362, 364, nothing like that. Joby just got an 8% pump. Yeah, oh yeah. Beautiful. Turned over a little bit here intraday, but for the most part, yeah, great move. How's ACHR? Pretty good as well. And we keep looking at Joby today. Hard not to. Come back to Palantir, which is still moving up. Up almost 8% now. You're looking at Meta for a buy the dip opportunity, Jacob said. I like it. I think it's a decent one to buy up on the dip. Just give yourself room to average in. If it does keep falling, I would just keep buying it as it drops and your average price will get lower, and ultimately, as we go forward, you could do a lot better. The music makes me want to fly, Coconut says. I think I'm flying right now because the market's doing so good. This is pretty legit. I like this, yeah. Very smooth. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, Coconut. That's kind of where I'm at. There goes Nvidia, Alexander said. Let's see Nvidia. Beautiful. I love it. 4.1%. Got through the pre-market highs. Oh, yeah. The bulls are feasting today. Well, bulls, I guess, do they do that? I would reference their horns, but they just run, Jason said. Yeah, they spike you. WTH is up with cost, Jake said. COST. Down 1.11%. I know Costco's, yeah. I was going to say, I know Costco's been downtrending pretty harshly lately. I think the stock just got a little bit overvalued. I mean, again, they're a stock that goes pretty crazy. Now, you know what I'm seeing with Costco is they're in a very, very, very similar pattern to this previous wedge that they formed and ended up moving extremely well out of. They actually have another one of those going on right now, in a way. It's not near as good looking or near as perfect, but it's pretty decent. Now again, this lower part of the trend might actually be more of like this. Hang on. It might be more of like this or like that, but either way, it's you get the point here. It's pretty close to the bottom end of the trend at the moment. I do think at some point as Costco goes forward, you could start to average in here, but I would give it a lot of room in case it pulls back. Tom, do you have any educational videos on Bookmap? We personally don't, but if you go to the Bookmap YouTube channel, oh my gosh, they have so many. It's insane, actually, the amount of educational videos that they have on it. I have a couple links, though. I'll send you my favorite link. This link that I'm sending has helped more people than most of the other ones that I've seen people sending around. So the trader in there goes through a few examples, and it really helps for beginners, for sure. Yeah, I just sent it. Can you guys see the link? Maybe they blocked it. That happens from time to time. Palantir is still doing great, though. I love that daily chart setup. Wow. 193 is about to touch. It's just not slowing down today. Every time it gets to a resistance where I think it's going to finally slow down, it says, nope, we are continuing. And Nvidia is continuing higher as well. For those of you that have been waiting to buy up some of these stocks on the dip, it might not be a bad time to sell some put options. You know, Navitas at like the $8 strike isn't terrible. Isn't really terrible at all. Yeah, Nvidia's not bad. Obviously, you know, some of these could be risky if they do end up really falling, but the dips have been pretty realistic here, pretty true pullbacks. Especially for like short term. cash secure puts and things of that nature, I like it. I'm not saying to buy and hold it forever, though. Hell no. Maybe so, if that's your prerogative, but you'd have to really look at averaging in a lot, I'd say. Cool, cool, cool. I heard late about the Netflix split. I'm so stoked. I'll finally be able to afford it, Autumn said. You could have afforded it before. You can actually do fractional shares. Buying 0.5 of a share at 1,000 is the same thing as buying one share at 500. It's all just funny math. It would be interesting to have a fractional share when it splits like this, though. I wonder what that would look like. Maybe I'll get one before it cairns, Autumn said. Before it splits, that is. That's a thing. Too bad my broker doesn't support fractional shares. Really? Wow, that's kind of weird. I'm surprised. I think Thinkorswim does. I haven't actually tried it myself, but I know a lot of people say you can. Robin definitely does. Canadian brokers just aren't as good as the US ones. Oh, I feel that. I feel that for sure. I hate Quest Trade. Oh, that's who you use? Okay, okay. I've heard a lot of people mention Quest Trade over the years. I would try to go for interactive brokers if possible. Autumn said, I can buy $1 of Netflix. Palantir, 194. Starting to turn over a bit. You guys think that Palantir's about ran out of steam for today? It's up quite a bit here. 8.5% is pretty strong. How's the Mag 7 looking? Amazon really turned over. Sheesh, Amazon fell from 251.50, 251.70 all the way back down to 247.75 now. A 3 or 4 point drop there pretty quickly. Damn, my Home Depot shares took a hit this morning, Alexander said. SPY's having a lot of trouble here at 679.25. Delta and United are offering extra pay to crew their flights. I'm seeing a lot of bad news on the headlines right now about more issues with the flights coming in here Monday. Now, while the Senate made progress, it doesn't seem good with these disruptions. Wow. 5.5% of flights were canceled and growing. Wow. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy. I just wonder if it can push through before the year ends. Coconut said, I think Palantir's top today. All right, let's go check Hood, Home Depot, HD. Said your shares got hit today. Your shares must have been getting hit pretty hard lately. Home Depot's been pulling back quite a bit. How about Lowe's? Yep. Both have. Might make for some good buying opportunities here soon, though. Wow, Nvidia. Up 5%. Now that is very nice. Still extending higher here. We might touch $200. Whoa. The hype is coming back. Tessie continuing as well. Almost up to 447.50. Next resistance close to there. That is only 1.7%, but it's $10. Looks like we're seeing some pullback, Jake said. On Meta we are. It's kind of weak there. Oh, SPY too. I see what you're saying. Man, Nvidia was doing great. Tesla was doing great too. Tesla just started turning over a little bit. There we go. Yeah, 1 minute candle turnover. Let's see if it starts to affect Nvidia, this little pullback or not. SPY is definitely becoming affected. 2 nasty 1 minute candles in a row. It's been doing this as it drops down to this range lately, but it's been holding the range and popping back up. It might fall through though. Third time might be the charm here. That could be the case. Next resistance you're seeing for XPEV, Tom, $25. Let's see XPEV. That's a pretty big pullback here. It's up 11% though. Next resistance for XPEV. Yeah, definitely 25. I would even say 24.95 to 25. Yeah, to 25. That's definitely a big range, big resistance range right there. It's not that big of one. It's like 5 cents, but either way, it's a big level for XPEV intraday. I also see this trend from the top there. Just to watch for as it starts to maybe pop back at some point later. It might not even try though. It's up a lot today. I would not be surprised if it pulled back a little bit. So, third time is the charm, I think, for SPY. It is getting pretty low now. Tesla's still holding up okay. Nvidia actually turned over hard, so. Let's go over to the Mag 7. Yeah, Amazon still giving gains back. Apple turned over hard too a little while ago. Applying a bit of pressure to SPY. Of course, there's a lot more in the SPY than just that, as we can see by the heat map here. Which I think I need to refresh. It's not loading the symbols. There we go. A lot of red out there. Sprinkled in. Still green on the day, though. Can't forget that SPY gapped up quite a bit this morning. It's up over 1%, even with the pullback, so there'll probably be a handful of pullbacks sprinkled in here as intraday we are getting a little bit too high. Resistance is right around 679.20 to 679.25 intraday. There are supports closer to 678, right where the SPY is starting to bounce now, along with 677.80. That's a good 20-cent range. I also really like 677 to 677.20, which is labeled right here. And then below that, we have to watch the trend line, which comes into play. That one's going to be dynamic. There's no exact level there, but that'll be a big level to watch for. Now, if that breaks, I really like a drop down to 674 or 672.50 again. And I think 672.50, where the SPY could fill the gap, would be pretty funny to see today. But we might need to see some negative news out of the Senate or something like that. There's always going to be a couple of more minor levels mixed in. 677.60 right here has seen a few bounces as well. I'll be honest, the SPY was like very choppy in this range this morning. Very, very choppy. Yeah, it would be crazy, but it wouldn't be the most wild move ever. What's up, Shane? How you doing? Has been a while. No, I haven't seen the Xpeng female robot. Now I'm gonna be looking it up though. Let's see. Oh my. Why? Why do you gotta make it a... Why does it have to be anything? Oh my god. Look at this robot that XPEV makes. Come on, I just want to see the picture. Oh my god. XPEV made this? That's it. It's pretty... I don't know what to say about that. I felt like you should make them look like this. I think that this is what they should make robots look like. This is what they need to make them look like right here. This would be the way. Oh yeah, C3PO, that's right. Maybe not quite like C3PO, but something like that, you know? Spy pulling back. So that's XPEV that makes that robot, okay. They've been actually popping off pretty well lately. Despite everything, they've been doing pretty good. Looks like they might try to make an extension up even more. Looks pretty awesome. Autumn said that she'd purchase. There's that one, like, kids movie called Robots, which was always interesting to me as a kid. I always liked that one, or Wall-E wasn't a good one. Wall-E's good, too, but Robots is more centered on robots, I'd say. Interesting, though. Of course, Tesla has their humanoid robots, Optimus. Man, Tesla's still right around their high of the day. They came right back off that little dip earlier. Nvidia did not, though. Nvidia is actually extending on the pullback, and the pullback is becoming more accelerated. Oh, Sharpie, that would be sick. Yeah, like change its face or something. That'd be really cool. Or everything about it, but it'd be like a car with a body kit. They say it's close to the bottom of the housing market in Florida. I feel it's a good investment time. Hey, there you go. Buying your first house? Fantastic, Shane. Yeah. It's probably not a bad time. It's never really a terrible time. Let's actually go ahead and look at a chart of median housing prices here. I'll show you guys. I'll even do in Florida just to maybe show here. Here we go. So the median listing price in Florida. Where's my dates? Here we go. Let's go back to... It says I can go back to 2010. That's it? Oh, come on. Let's go see a max chart. I want to see a max. That's it? That is the max? Oh. That's gross. Either way, you can see it's been downtrending recently a little bit. But I wish I could go back further because it would show a lot more data. That sucks. It would still be pretty good, I think, for you, though. I'm waiting until spring to sell apartment buildings. If the rate drops anyways, Jake said. Hopefully we do see that rate drop. Coconut said still too expensive. Definitely possible. Prices will go up with rate drops. Yeah, that is very true. If the rate does come down, it'll send the housing market into a frenzy as everyone tries to buy again. It'll be a wild time. Autumn says, I need to buy a house in the next couple years and I'm dreading it. I need a pullback to happen in housing. I know, it's rough. Here, let me get you the median housing price for the whole United States. This will be a funny one because it literally just goes up. And there's not, keep in mind this is for the whole U.S. It's not just Florida or anything. Now, there are dips, like we've been seeing recently a little bit, but it's not like we really see, huge pullbacks out of this number ever. Even in 2008, when people thought it was really bad, I mean, the median housing price peaked out around, $257,000 and fell to lows around $208,000. I get it, that's a little bit of a dip, but, I mean, my gosh, it came right back within 3 years and then went to 438,000. So it's weird. You'll have periods where there are recessions and there are dips in the median housing price, but it's not really that crazy. Really not that crazy. We just keep seeing them rise. Even from the 70s into the 90s, whenever mortgage rates were 20% plus, the median price just ripped. Yeah. Just keep in mind, Autumn, that there were a lot of people back then who said that same stuff. I feel like that'll never end, people saying that. But I will say the income to housing price ratio is not went very well, so I totally understand. Totally get it. 100%. Spy is dying, Jason said. It really is selling off quite hard now. Watch for the trend line to come into play here as it drops. It got pretty close a minute ago. Got pretty close. If it breaks through that trend, watch for the gap to start possibly filling. I know, Autumn, it's getting weird, isn't it? Is there any news hitting the headlines? That's what I'm curious of. I'm going to have to take a quick break too, guys. I'll be right back, though, in about 2 or 3 minutes. Just a quick intermission to go grab some protein. Yeah, we're back on the protein kick now. Trump's talking more about the tariff revenue. Oh, wow. A lot more info there again. Wow, a lot more headlines on that side of things starting to hit. Check out Stock Labs. Pretty sick. You can go to their website and look at the news for free. It's pretty sick. Air traffic controllers. Uh-oh. DJ, the ATCs are saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. Pretty crazy there. I heard it'll likely come in the form of your tax refund. Nope. That's not the likely case. We'll see, though, Jake. We'll see. Not likely. Bessent made a mention of that yesterday. And he even said, when he made the mention, that he had not even ran it by Trump yet. But he was just saying that there could be a bunch of ways. If it is through tax, I think that people wouldn't like it as much. I don't think people would love that. But we'll see. Be right back. 1 second. Gonna go grab a quick drink and rest my voice for a moment. My gosh, look at the Mag 7 sell off. This is getting wild. All right. We are back. Sorry about that. The Tom's trend line just break. Oh my gosh, it did. It broke back down to the downside here. Now, one level to watch for before we start getting down to 674 is this little wick from pre-market. Right where the market opened up. It's pretty close to our trend. A lot of times I see SPY bounce at levels like this. Doesn't mean it has to, but I see it. Still pretty awesome to the downside, though. Hey, Jacob shorted those ES futures. Like it. Oh, yeah. Look at the futures. Wow, they're really selling off. Dang. Pretty straight down for those. Hey, Tom, thoughts on that XME big money play expiring next Friday? Thanks and stay blessed. XME! It's getting close, isn't it? Man, I'm surprised you didn't take profits last week. I haven't checked it on the actual chart itself, but I find that to be an interesting one for sure. There's like no time left, and it's dipped so much that there could be a possible small short-term recovery here that really starts to hurt the play. Just keep that in mind. Let's see, XME, 97 puts, 11, 21, 25. Like, no volume on them today at all. The bid-ask spread is crazy. Yeah, it had done pretty well, the play did. Looks like the big money locked in a little bit of their contracts. They sold about 1,000. I saw 1,000 contracts come off the open interest recently, so somebody locked in some, but for the most part, they're still in. There was some... No, not really today, no. Interesting, yeah. It sucks how much it came down today. It's almost back to like break even now. If you're looking at the lower side of the bid-ask spread, of course. Or the last, which was 370. How's ES support? I'm really watching for SPY to come down and hit 674.20. Somewhere close to 674 within that range. If not even fill the gap down to 672.50. But I would think it could bounce around 674. It's possible. Let's see ES. For ES... For ES, I really like this 67.70 to 67.80 zone. It's a bit of a zone there, but ES can be a bit more wild. Like that though. Yeah, some quick shorts on these, making some good ones there, Jacob. I like it. See, Nvidia, one of the bigger stocks in the Mag 7. It definitely helped SPY fall when Nvidia pulled back from its high of the day, I'll tell you that. That definitely helps. Definitely helps. Nvidia does seem to be finding some support, but it could easily fall through there as the day goes. Now, Tesla's actually been one that has held up pretty well today. It's actually testing really good support as we speak, and it's been holding it. And on more of like a 1 minute basis, there's this like intraday trend line that it's been bouncing off of and holding below. If we start to see it rip past there again, it would be an interesting upside position there. All right, there it goes. Right through that trend line. On a 1 minute basis, Tesla is popping here. New high of the day achieved. Pretty strange by Tesla. Looking at the rest of the Mag 7s, things haven't been going too hot recently. Tesla. Why are my charts frozen? What the? I've never seen this happen before. Not on TOS. What is happening? All right, there we go. Fix that, but the charts still aren't moving around. I'm gonna have to restart the program there. Sorry about that. The hell, Thinkorswim? How's this one? Is this one moving? No. What the hell? What's happening? I've never had that happen on Thinkorswim before. That is crazy. I've had it crash and stuff, but not that. Yeah, Tesla's doing great, Coconut. Love it. Beautiful support bounce. Great reaction and push higher here. Oh yeah, big time, Autumn. Can't even believe that. All right, now let's see. Oh my gosh. There we go. At least Tesla's is moving. That's better. That's more like it. For some reason, Google still isn't working. Some of them still aren't working. What in the world? Yeah, there is some issues. People in Discord are even upset about it. Yep. Wow. Yep, that's exactly what it is. I wonder if it's just the high high volatility in the market here. Oh wow, look at SPY ended up holding pretty close to the bottom of that wick from this morning. Tesla has more Starbucks chick value than Apple? What? What is that? QQQ pulling back hard. It did try to bounce back up here, but man, it's been in a big downtrend since that peak from today. People flash their Teslas at Starbucks. Oh. It feels like there's been a lot of big technology issues across the board lately. Feels sus. Like the day that AWS crapped out all day. Oh my gosh, that was insane when AWS did that. If we start to see that happen, I think traders are going to get freaked out. Moran said 50 basis point cut appropriate for December, 25 BPS at a minimum. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff here. This is the guy that was put in by Trump, I believe. Stephen Miran, I believe is how you say it. Miran. I do not know how to say his name, unfortunately. I'll have to look that up. I've never heard anyone say it before. What's up, Rick? Good morning. I told him Tom's not going to be happy. You know what you should do, Rick? If you ever have that happen again, you should DM me on Discord, and you should tell me, like, what morning you're going to do it, and then, like, DM me again, and you should have it where, like, you have the stream playing while he's in the car, and somehow you'll have to tell me something where I'll say some stuff that only, like, he would know or something, and, like, it would, like, freak him out. He'd be like, what the? Be like, hey, I just started listening to this guy. Because if it's sporadic, I don't want to play. Just P says, so when they open the government fully and we just got our updated data we've all been missing, is it scheduled or does it just drop randomly? You know, I'm not quite sure there, Just P. I honestly would think that we just call it missed and that we just look at future data. Because I think that the people that have been there to collect it haven't been collecting it. So they're going to have to then collect it. And how can you go back and collect past data if you weren't there to collect it? I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure there. You got me, you got me thinking. But I would think that they just go with, looking at future data. Go Rare Earths. MP Tickers. Mark my last name. They said 6-7. Maybe it'll hit $67 here soon. On the recovery here. Autumn said, did people lose money that day if they weren't able to take profits and all that good stuff? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There were a lot of people who lost money that day. They were pissed. There were a lot of people that were very upset by that. Imagine you see the stock going down, you're losing money, you can't even exit the trade. Yeah, yep. It's terrible. It's happened to me before. It's definitely happened to me before. Especially back when I used to use Robinhood a long time ago. Oh my gosh, it would happen all the time. Not as bad as the AWS day, but like, even if you have like quite a bit on the line and you're trying to get in and out fast, man, it wouldn't like let your orders go through for like 5 minutes, and then you'd have to do market orders and they'd force you pretty much to, and it wasn't fun. Robinhood, when it first came out, was awful. It definitely got better, I'll tell you that. Way better about a lot of stuff. Moran finished. Is there another one? Yeah, I think there is. Where is it? Here we go. I actually didn't even see that they were scheduled. Wow, okay. Yeah, I didn't even see that. It looks like Bar is speaking tomorrow, 10:25 p.m., weirdly enough. And then later in the week, we're going to have a lot. Wednesday, Mirren's going to speak again at 12:30 p.m. Bostic, Waller, Paulson, Williams. I didn't even see this one scheduled for today. I think it was just a CNBC interview. So if there is going to be more, I'm not sure on those types of schedules. You know, a random CNBC interview, I'm not sure if those are even scheduled or not, really. It wasn't AWS that failed, it was the DNS servers. I guess that makes sense. Did those take AWS down then? No, I'll be heading out here in a few minutes, Shomit. I am actually starving now after the stream today. Did I miss anything major? I'm scanning the news, Rick said. Not anything major from this morning. I did see that there was more issues with flight disruptions this morning. There's an uptick in cancellations. On Monday, 1,432 of the 25,733 scheduled flights across the country were canceled. That's 5.5% and growing. And Monday just started, so...
Wait!
What the? Oh my gosh. CNBC's playing like music ads now? Jeez. How annoying. Gosh, another reason to go to Bloomberg. Speaking of that, let's go there. See what we're looking at. Nothing too insane, really, this morning, in my opinion, that's been coming out. Mainly the Mirren comments, from what I've seen. Of course, we gapped up with that shutdown news last night. Rick needs the housing market to pull back too. There we go. That's what we want. Oh yeah, Autumn. I'm gonna get a... I have a McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit in there with my name on it. It is left over from yesterday, though, but it's okay. Speaking of McDonald's this week, how are we looking? Not too great, not too great. You went a little crazy during Monopoly. A lot of those free things are about to expire, Autumn. Have a great one, Jason. Yeah, I'm not quite sure there, Coconut. I just go with what I'm told, my man. Man, all the headlines were saying AWS caused the outages, but it makes sense, like, if you talk about the real nitty-gritty, you get down to it, right? For us normies out there, we... Most people, they hear DNS server, they faint. Hey, appreciate that, Shomit. Hell yeah. Glad to hear the kind words. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. If you ever need anything, shoot me a message. You only trade SPX/SPY, so your levels you get me for the setup for the next day. Perfect. Perfect. Watch the SPY and SPX closely right now. We might be seeing a gap fill start to come into play. That would be pretty big. We're already breaking through that low from pre-market. We broke through a little bit earlier. I don't like this reaction so far. Benchmark analyst Mike Hickey upgrades canopy growth from sell to hold. Okay. So he's saying to hold CGC now. Interesting thought. How's PLNH? Planet 13. Starting to bounce a little bit. You know, it's triple bottom down here around 20 cents or so. Of course, this one's a wild stock. I wouldn't touch it unless you were willing to lose. Same with Powell, or same with Tilray and CGC. Not Palantir. Palantir obviously a lot more respected. What key levels does it need to break for more movement to the downside? Really, I just need to see good confirmation under this support here. I think if it gets under 675.30, we'll see a drop down towards 674. And then ultimately, once 674 breaks, 672.50 would be right next. So there could be an opportunity scalping it down from here, down towards 674, and then from 674 down to there, or you could just scalp it here and set it up this way. You could go like this. Now, if you did this and it started ripping back up, you know, you would just have to cut pretty quickly, but you could either do this, let it be 1.4, 1.3 on the risk reward, or you could go for the larger target, or maybe do half and half, or something like that. But I like the setup here like this. It's not terrible the way SPY is starting to trend intraday. But if you want really good confirmation, I would make this wick break right here. Good morning. How's NVIDIA looking like? It was looking great earlier, and then it turned over hard here, but it's still up 3.3%. I'm watching it very closely at its support today. A lot of these stocks pulled up quite a bit, and I'm worried that we might see a bit of a pullback. But for now, they all seem to be holding their support. So watch NVIDIA. It is bouncing actively around this 194 support, so it's hard to talk. It's hard to say to the downside till the support gives. But I do lean more that way here intraday. Coconut says it's just easier to say AWS failed. Yeah, yeah. Do a Control-Alt-Delete. I'm surprised it took him so long to get things fixed that day. There must have just been a lot of problems there. Or a lot of ones needed restarted, we'll say. All right, guys. We're going to call it there. We're going to go get some breakfast. We appreciate everybody for joining up today. Let's go. Pretty good start to the week. We had some good price action in both directions, honestly. SPY had a great run from open, good continuation, but did sell off now. Now what we're really waiting for is to see whether or not the SPY is going to continue to sell off and truly start to get that secondary leg back down. For now, it's holding support, so watch it as support holds. I'm being patient, waiting more for a turnover here at this point. Let's go. Thanks, Timothy, Jacob, Alexander, Autumn, Shomit, Ayush, Raul. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Happy Monday to McDonald's I go, Autumn says. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Yvonne. All right, guys, have a great one. Talk to you later. Almighty J, Raul. Couple final mentions there. Come on, Palantir. See how that dip goes.